Today on Mike Attempts, repairing a PTO air pump. My dad gave me this old PTO air pump, which I'd never even heard of before. It's covered in a thick layer of dried grease and I can't get anything to move. I spent a lot of time soaking and scraping to get the outside cleaned up. Now we can see it's a John Deere pump. And things are starting to loosen up a bit. Time to disassemble. This seal is actually made of leather. After removing the air hose barb, these pieces fell out of the cylinder. With the cotter key and pin removed, I was able to separate the rod from the piston. I soaked the leather disc in hot water and it seems to be in pretty good shape. I accidentally tore this paper-thin gasket. I plan to replace it with some RTV sealant, which will be applied here. The steel ball goes in first, followed by the spring. This acts as the check valve so the air can only flow in one direction. The shiny ring down there is what the RTV will seal against. I used a piece of dental floss to help me get the piece into position without messing up the RTV. What I didn't realize was that the ball and spring would fall out of the hole as soon as I cut the floss. That's okay. I was able to drop them right back in before threading in the hose barb fitting. I massaged the leather seal with some grease to keep it supple. Everything else got a good coating of grease before reassembly. The two little bumps on this metal disc line up with the divots in the top of the piston. I used a screwdriver to gently guide the edges of the leather down into the cylinder. It seems to be gliding smooth and building pressure. This is all that was left of the original air hose, so I picked up a new one. I cut off one end, and now all I need to do is attach it to the hose barb and screw on the air chuck. Why did I assume this needed to be mounted horizontally? I have no idea. I also couldn't figure out where to connect the chains, so I just left it like this to test. Well, it didn't fly apart, so I'll attach the hose. I don't want it to build pressure in the hose, so I removed the chuck pin to make a modification. Seems to be pumping, but then my makeshift chain hook gave out. Eureka! It's supposed to be mounted vertically. It makes so much sense now. Not only did I then see where I was supposed to attach the chains, but I also realized that vertically mounted would be the only way to properly lube the cylinder. Those holes allow the oil or grease to get to the leather seal. Any idea what's recommended to lube the cylinder on a pump like this? I drilled 4 tiny holes in the base of the chuck pin so it wouldn't build pressure, but I could still use it to depress the tire's valve core pin. Let's test it out. I was a little disappointed when I went to pick up the new air hose. They had a yellow one that was even cheaper and would have matched the John Deere colors, but they were all sold out. Oh well, maybe this orange one will eventually fade to yellow. It works great. Feel free to rate this video, add your comments and questions below, and subscribe for more.